What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. Let's talk about Elemental Shaman rotations with the new talents that have come in. A lot of people have been asking about this. We're going to talk about how do you use Ascendance, when are you using it, what's the build looking like. Let's talk about all of it. So just a couple disclaimers. I'm not set up for Ele Shaman, okay? My stats are, the haste is actually okay. I'm at a decent amount of haste, but my mastery is very low. Because I play Resto Shaman for my raid. That's primarily how I'm gearing myself. So I end up having a lot more crit than normal. I've shuffled some pieces of gear around right now to make it look a little bit better for you guys. But just bear in mind, I need way more mastery. And you should have more mastery as well. You should be aiming towards about 50 to 60%, maybe even 70% mastery by the, as you're getting more gear. But by now you should have like 20% haste, 50% mastery, something like that. I do not have that, just to keep in mind. Here's the build. This is going to be for Mythic Plus primarily. I am going to show you single target damage, but when you're in a raid scenario, you would shuffle a bunch of these talents around. That's not really what I'm focused on right now. We're looking at a Mythic Plus build and the rotations for how to do it, okay? This is what your build looks like. You're basically always going to take Surge of Power. I have experimented with Aftershock, and it's fine. It actually has really, really good synergy with Deeply Rooted, more so than Surge of Power. But we can talk about that in a different video. I'm going to give you what the main build would look like with Surge of Power, and your entire playstyle revolves around Surge of Power, okay? Making sure that you're utilizing the procs correctly, okay? So we're going to get into that. Why is my screen shaking? So there's two phases to Elemental Shaman's rotation. There's the setup phase, and then there's the Ascendance phase now. Those are the two different phases. So if you don't have Ascendance, then you're just doing a setup phase into just like normal damage. But if you have all your cooldowns ready to go, you're always going to have a setup phase and Ascendance phase. So the setup phase is Stormkeeper, Liquid Magma Totem plus Primordial Wave, so getting your Flame Shock set up, and then Storm Elemental. Those are your setup buttons. You need to get those GCDs out of the way before you pop Ascendance, because inside of this cooldown, you want to maximize every single global that you have, because it's doing so much extra damage. Your overloads are overloading again, and they're doing more damage, okay? So we want to get those other buttons out of the way before we start Ascendance. So here's how you're generally going to start. You're going to go Stormkeeper, Liquid Magma Totem, Primordial Wave, get your Flame Shock set up. Press your Storm Elemental, then go into Ascendance, then launch a Lava Burst from the Primordial Wave to get the haste buff going, and then you're into your Ascendance stuff. And you're doing, because you have Surge of Power, remember, you're going to be alternating between Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake. Do not ever, ever, ever do Earthquake into Earthquake. You can't do two of them back to back. If you're playing Aftershock, it doesn't matter. If you're playing Surge of Power, you must use a different ability after you use Earthquake or Earthshock, of course. Okay? A quick note. For two target cleave, you do not want to do Earthquake into Chain Lightning. I would do Earthquake into Lightning Bolt every single time, because the only bonus you get from Chain Lightning is that your Chain Lightning will hit an additional target. So baseline Chain Lightning is only hitting 5 targets in total. Surge of Power gives you a 6th target. So that makes it really, really valuable on larger AoE packs. But for 2 target cleave, or even 3 or 4 target cleave, Chain Lightning isn't always the best option, but you're just going to press it anyway because it does more damage. So in 2 target cleave specifically, I would press Lightning Bolt, I would say, over Chain Lightning, because it's going to get those extra overloads. It's going to get an additional overload, which is pretty good. Now, certainly, if you ever get Tempest, you are going Earthquake into Tempest every time. Always Earthquake into Tempest, because Tempest gets an extra overload that's very, very powerful. I'm going to do the rotation kind of slowly, and we're gonna work it out. Okay, Stormkeeper, Liquid Magma Totem, Primordial Wave, Storm Elemental, then we go Ascendance, and then we press Lava Burst, and then we go Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Tempest. I got Tempest proc. Earthquake, Tempest again. Earthquake, Chain Lightning. Okay, Earthquake, Tempest. Now we have a Ice Fury proc, we're going to press that. Earthquake. Now I have nothing else to press. We'll refresh our Liquid Magma Totem. Earthquake into Chain Lightning. Okay, couple Chain Lightnings here. We'll get another Primordial Wave going. Refresh our haste buff. Ice Fury into a Frost Shock here. Now we go Earthquake, Tempest. Earthquake, Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Tempest. Okay, do a Frost Shock. Chain Lightning, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning. Do you see what's going on there? Okay, always alternate. Our Liquid Magma Totem's back. Earthquake, Chain Lightning. There we go. Another Earthquake into a Chain Lightning. We got Stormkeeper back. Let's get Primordial Wave set up first. Lava Burst, Ice Fury. I'll do another Flame Shock, and then we'll go Earthquake, Tempest. Earthquake, Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning, Frost Shock, Earthquake, Tempest. Okay, Chain Lightning, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning. Okay, that's how it goes. If you ever get an Ice Fury proc in AoE, especially inside of Ascendance, you don't really want to use your Ice Fury proc. Okay, you want to save your Ice Fury proc for once you're done doing your Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Tempest rotation. Okay, Ice Fury is good, but in an AoE situation, you need to maximize your Earthquake, Chain Lightning back and forth that's going on there, again, because of Surge of Power. Okay, that's really important. Okay, that's how the AoE kind of goes. Now, this is what it will look like. Our Lightning Rod damage did get nerfed. This is post Lightning Rod nerf. So again, Lightning Rod basically lost 50% of its value, basically. So that's gone down by quite a bit, right? So that's what the damage looks like. Let me show you single target damage. We'll wait for our cooldowns to come back here. Basically, you're really focused on Surge of Power. As I was saying, it's really all about alternating. If you're on 2-target cleave, I would say there's a case to be made for Lightning Bolt there. But one thing I want to make sure you guys all understand is that all of your other abilities now that didn't used to generate Maelstrom, they do now. So Primordial Wave gives you 3 Maelstrom. Casting Frost Shock Natty is 3 Maelstrom. Obviously, if you have an Ice Fury proc, that goes up to 10 Maelstrom, but Frost Shock actually generates Maelstrom all on its own. Liquid Magma Totem gives you 8 Maelstrom. So a lot of these things that you didn't necessarily use before to generate Maelstrom, you just use them for damage, they actually generate Maelstrom now, which is very helpful. On a single target fight, this becomes even more helpful because sometimes you might have a Tempest proc ready to go, but you don't have an Earthquake or an Earth Shock to actually cast first to get your Surge of Power buff to then cast the Tempest, and you always want to do that. If you ever get a Tempest proc and you don't have an Earth Shock or an Earthquake ready to go, you must wait until you get an Earth Shock or an Earth Quake. Then do that first, then press Tempest, because the Surge of Power bonus on Tempest is really strong. Getting an extra overload is really strong. So what do you do in the meantime? If you're waiting to build up Maelstrom and you have a Tempest proc waiting to go, you can press Lava Burst, that'll give you Maelstrom. You can press Flame Shock, that'll give you Maelstrom. Liquid Magma Totem gives you Maelstrom. Primordial Wave gives you Maelstrom. Frost Shock gives you Maelstrom. Okay, Ice Fury gives you Maelstrom. So press any of those other buttons to generate Maelstrom, to use a spender, to then press Tempest. Okay, that can become really important on single target. Let me show you single target here. Same thing. We're setting up our damage, and then we're doing the Ascendance damage. Okay, so we're gonna go Stormkeeper. I'll go Liquid Magma Totem, Primordial Wave, get my Ellie out. Then we go Ascendance into Lava Burst, Earth Shock, Tempest, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Then we'll go Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Every single time. Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. Okay. There's an Ice Fury proc. Always consume your Ice Fury proc right away in single target. Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Okay. There we go. We're doing lots of damage, right? Refresh our totem. Earth Shock, Tempest. We got Primordial Wave coming up. Primordial Wave. Let's send it. Ice Fury. Let's send it. Flame Shock to get the Ellie Blast. Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Okay. We'll do. Now we gotta wait. We have a Tempest proc. We gotta wait. We have a Tempest proc. We gotta wait a little bit. Now we go Earth Shock into Tempest. Okay. Sometimes that can get a little bit weird. Okay. We'll go Ice Fury into Flame Shock. Lava Burst. Another. We'll get our totem down again. Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Okay. Keep that going. Oh, I just used Tempest. That was a mistake. Don't use Tempest like that. That was a huge mistake. I messed up. I didn't see that it proc. Primordial Wave. Now we have Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Okay, lightning bolt again, lava burst, earth shock, lightning bolt. Oh, we got an ascendance proc. Let's go. Earth shock, ice free. Ooh, tempest is good. I kind of messed that up actually, but it's okay. We go earth shock, tempest, and then we're gonna be done here. Okay. So there you go. The damage, we were holding over 1,000,000 DPS. We could have done a little bit better, but it got a little messy there. The main point I'm trying to hammer home really hard is that with Surge of Power, it's always spender into something, right? And that something is almost always going to be Tempest if it's up, or Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, because of the benefits that they gain. So you can see our Lightning Bolt damage was really, really high. We had so many additional overloads, and getting the additional overloads from Lightning Bolt will help to proc Awakening Storms more often, which will get you more Tempest procs. So it's just very, very important to remember that okay? If you're running Surge of Power, remember what I said here. Now, if you're not running Surge of Power, it all kind of doesn't matter. The ordering doesn't matter. It gets a lot simpler. If you're running Aftershock instead, you're basically, you don't have to worry about any of the ordering at all. And if you get a Tempest proc, and you don't have an Earth Shock or an Earthquake, it doesn't matter. You can send the Tempest proc right away, which is kind of nice. So there's some good quality of life going on with Aftershock, and if you take Aftershock, you are going to proc more Deeply Rooted. So there's a bit of a trade there. You're going to get more Deeply Rooted procs. You're going to get resets on your spenders, which in single target, that's a lot of extra damage. And obviously, it's going to keep the Lightning Rod going, which is really good. But you're losing the Tempest overload, the Lightning Bolt overload, and the Chain Lightning hitting an extra target. So that is a pretty big deal. But I will say on an AoE, it feels very, very, very good. Let me just show you what it looks like on AoE really quick, and then we'll jump out of the video here. So on AoE, you're just pressing Earthquakes all over the place, and you're not worrying about Surge of Power at all. So let me show you this. The same rules apply. You have to set up your stuff first, and then get into Ascendance. Stormkeeper, Liquid Magma Totem, Primordial Wave, Elemental, Ascendance, Lava Burst. We'll send this Earthquake, then we go Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Tempest. I'll send my Frost Shock, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning. We're not pressing Lava Burst, don't worry. Okay, Earthquake, we got a reset, Earthquake. There's 3 resets, 4 Earthquakes in a row into a Tempest. That's what Aftershock can do for you. You can get so many Earthquakes in a row. It's kind of crazy. We'll set up our totem again into a Primordial Wave. I messed that up right there. Let's send this first. Then we'll do Tempest. Oh, that's an Ascendance proc. That's really good. We'll do an Earthquake because Earthquake will obviously proc. So that's kind of how that looks, okay? When you're doing Aftershock instead of Surge of Power, it's a much simpler... There's no mental gain. There's no mental problem, really. All you do is just fill the ground with Earthquakes, and it'll get all your Lightning Rods going. You're going to get more Lightning Rod damage with an Aftershock build, in my opinion. I think that is absolutely clear to me, because you get so many... There's another proc. There's another Deeply Rooted proc. Dude, we've gotten more Deeply Rooted procs now than we did before. So I think, to me, I really enjoy that. I really like the Deeply Rooted procs. So... I like Aftershock for that reason. You get more Deeply Rooted procs, but the bottom line is your Lightning Rod damage will definitely go up because you get more spenders, which means you get more Earthquakes, which are going to put more Lightning Rods down. So that's just the difference there. But primarily, you're going to be using Surge of Power in almost every build. If you want to experiment like me and be a little crazy, you can try Aftershock. I think it's a lot of fun, but I think Surge of Power does take the edge in most cases. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear about that. All right, that's the rotation, the setup phase into the Ascendance phase. When you don't have Ascendance on cooldown, you're still doing, or when Ascendance is on cooldown, you're still doing the setup phase, and then you're doing damage. Make sure you reapply your Flame Shocks, get your Primordial Wave buff going again, get the haste window going, and then boom, go back into a regular rotation of doing Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earthquake, Chain Lightning, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt, okay? Earth Shock, Tempest whenever it procs, okay? If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you all down there. Thank you so much again for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.